and they're always last to the party with new features. While other platforms are adding capabilities that could actually help your writing process, Claude's playing catch up. Then there's Gemini from Google, which integrates beautifully with Google Docs, which is nice if that's your writing environment. But the writing assistant feels generic, like it's optimized for business documents rather than the kind of nuanced work writers actually do. Now, there are a few platforms that don't get enough attention but might surprise you. Mistral AI, for instance, is one that flew under my radar for months. It's cheaper than most at $15 a month, and their models are actually quite good for creative writing. The free tier is generous enough that you could probably get by without paying anything if you're just starting out. The problem is it lacks the polish of the bigger platforms. No advanced voice mode, limited mobile experience, and the interface feels like it was built by engineers for engineers, not writers. Then there's Meta AI, completely free, which sounds amazing until you realize why. Facebook is using everything you write to train its models. If you're comfortable with that trade-off, the tool itself is surprisingly capable for basic writing tasks. But I found the output inconsistent. One session, it would help me craft compelling dialogue. The next, it couldn't maintain character consistency across 3 paragraphs. Next is Grok from X, which deserves a mention, especially if you write content that pushes boundaries. It's one of the few platforms that won't shut down creative projects that other AIs consider too edgy. But honestly, unless you're specifically writing content that other platforms reject, there's not much here that justifies the subscription cost. Then we have Microsoft Copilot, which is interesting if you're already deep in the Microsoft ecosystem. If you live in Word and use Office 365, the integration is seamless. The writing assistance is decent, not groundbreaking, but solid. The real limitation is that you're essentially getting ChatGPT with Microsoft. Every writer I talk to asks the same question: which AI chatbot should I be using? But they're asking the wrong question. The real question is, which AI tool gives me writing that doesn't sound like a robot wrote it? Most writers I know have given up on AI because everything comes out sounding the same, generic, sterile, and completely lacking the voice that makes their work unique. One day it's giving you brilliant character insights. The next day, it can't help you write a simple scene transition. And don't get me started on what happens when you hit your daily limit mid-chapter. Look, whether you're working on a novel, a business book, or content for your blog, you need an AI that understands nuance. You need something that can help you develop complex arguments, create compelling narratives, and maintain your authentic voice, not just pump out bland paragraphs that sound like they came from the same template as everyone else's work. See? I've been where you are, switching between tools, rewriting everything because the AI suggestions killed my flow, and losing entire writing sessions to usage limits. And I'm here to tell you that whether you're working on a cookbook, a self-help guide, or the next great American novel, you need tools that actually understand the craft of writing, not just content generation. Now, I'm not saying this as someone who just dabbled with AI tools for a few weeks. I published my first book on Kindle a decade ago. And since then, I've generated over $350 million in e-learning sales and published hundreds of books on Amazon and Audible. So when I tell you that most writers are choosing the wrong AI tools, it's because I've seen what works and what doesn't across thousands of writing projects. So by the end of this video, you'll know exactly which AI chatbot to invest in based on your specific writing goals, and more importantly, you'll understand how to use these tools to amplify your creativity rather than replace it.
The world is made up of people with either killer instincts or without killer instincts. And the people that seem to emerge are the people that are competitive and driven and with a certain instinct to win.
Before we dive in, let's establish what actually matters when choosing an AI writing assistant. First, you need simplicity that doesn't sacrifice power. The best writing tools get out of your way. If you're spending more time figuring out how to use the AI than actually writing, you've already lost. The interface should feel intuitive, like having a conversation with a knowledgeable friend. Second, you need consistency, not just in output quality, but in availability. There's nothing worse than being in a creative flow state and hitting an arbitrary usage wall. Third, you need access to multiple AI models, not just one company's approach to language. You see, different types of writing require different strengths, and limiting yourself to one model is like trying to build a house with just a hammer. Fourth, you need mobile accessibility. Your best ideas don't always come when you're sitting at your desk, and the tool that can't travel with you isn't the tool that's going to change your writing process. For number 5, which is the one most writers completely ignore, but you need voice interaction capabilities. I know it sounds gimmicky, but there's something about being able to talk through ideas that unlocks creativity in ways typing never can. And finally, context retention. Can the AI remember your writing style, your characters, and your ongoing projects? This feature separates casual tools from professional-grade assistants. Now, using these 6 criteria, I've tested every major AI platform available to writers today. So let's start with the one everyone knows. ChatGPT is solid. It's reliable, has a decent mobile app, and OpenAI keeps adding features. The voice mode actually works well for brainstorming, and it rarely goes completely stupid on you mid-conversation. But here's the problem. You're locked into OpenAI's models only. When you're writing fiction and need something that understands character development, or you're working on technical nonfiction that requires different reasoning approaches, you're stuck with one company's interpretation of language. Plus, at $20 a month, you're paying premium prices for what's essentially basic access. Then there's Claude Pro from Anthropic. I'll be honest, Claude produces some of the best writing assistants I've seen. It understands nuance, maintains voice consistency, and actually seems to get creative writing in ways that other platforms miss. But they've got the worst throttling in the industry. Just when you're deep into a writing session, boom, you're cut off for hours. Try explaining to your creative flow why it needs to wait until tomorrow. Branding, same underlying technology, same limitations, just with different packaging. Now, let's talk about third-party platforms like Typing Mind. Typing Mind is fascinating because it gives you access to multiple AI models through one interface. You can use GPT, Claude, Gemini, all from the same platform. For team-based writing projects or publishing houses, this could be game-changing. You can set up specific workflows, create templates, manage multiple projects. But here's the catch. No mobile app, no voice mode, and the learning curve is steep. If you're a solo writer who values simplicity, this might feel like overkill. Then of course there's Poe by Quora. And this one's actually interesting for a specific reason. Poe gives you access to multiple AI models through one subscription, similar to what I mentioned with Typing Mind, but with a much cleaner interface. You can switch between Claude, GPT, Gemini, and several other models depending on what type of writing assistance you need. The concept is smart. Instead of paying for multiple subscriptions, you get access to different AI personalities and capabilities for one monthly fee. For writers who like to experiment with different AI approaches, this could be valuable. The model switching is seamless, the interface is clean, and you can create custom bots trained for specific types of writing projects. If you're working on a fantasy novel, you could have a bot specifically tuned for world building. Writing a technical manual, different bot, different approach. But here's where it falls short for serious writers. The mobile experience is lacking compared to the native apps from OpenAI or Anthropic. And while you get access to multiple models, you're often not getting the latest versions or the full feature sets you'd get going direct to the source. The bigger issue is that most of the specialized bots feel gimmicky. You end up with dozens of options that are just variations of the same underlying models with different system prompts. It's like having 50 different paintbrushes when what you really need is better paint. For writers just starting with AI, Poe might feel overwhelming. For advanced users, it might feel limiting. It sits in this middle ground that doesn't quite satisfy either end of the spectrum. The pricing is reasonable at around $20 a month, but you have to ask yourself, are you actually going to use all these different models, or are you just paying for variety you don't need? There are also platforms like DeepSeek coming out of China that are completely free and surprisingly capable. The models are open source, so privacy isn't as much of a concern as you might think. But the interface is bare bones, and if you're worried about geopolitical issues affecting your writing tools, this might not be the route for you. Now here's what I've learned. Most writers are making their choice based on the wrong factors. They're choosing based on price or features, or instead of asking the fundamental question, which tool actually makes me a better writer? And that brings me to the platform that changed everything for me, Perplexity. This is where things get interesting. You see, most people think of Perplexity as a search engine with AI, but they're missing the bigger picture. This platform gives you access to multiple AI models, Claude, GPT, Gemini, all in one place. So when you're working on dialogue and need Claude's understanding of character voice, you've got it. When you need GPT's structured thinking for organizing your nonfiction chapters, it's there. When you want Gemini's research capabilities for fact-checking, available instantly. I've been using Perplexity heavily for months, and here's something that surprised me. I've never hit a usage limit. Not once, while other platforms are throttling you right when inspiration strikes. Perplexity just keeps working, and they consistently roll out features that actually matter to writers. They're not just adding bells and whistles, they're solving real problems. And also, the search integration isn't just useful, it's game-changing for nonfiction writers. You can research and write in the same environment, verify facts without breaking your flow, and access current information that other AI models simply don't have. Comment below and let me know. Do you find yourself switching between research and writing tools constantly? This integration might change everything for you. But here's what most writers don't realize about tool selection. You don't have to pick just one. There's a strategy I call the API approach that lets you access every major AI model for a fraction of what you'd pay in subscriptions. Instead of paying $20 a month for ChatGPT, $20 for Claude Pro, and $20 for Gemini Advanced, that's $60 monthly just to access different AI models. You can access all of them through their APIs for maybe $5 to $15 per month total, depending on your usage. Every AI company offers API access. That's how developers integrate their models into other applications. But you can access these APIs directly through platforms like OpenRouter. OpenRouter is like a hub that gives you access to hundreds of AI models from every major company. ChatGPT, Claude, Gemini, Mistral, and dozens of others you've probably never heard of. Instead of paying subscription fees, you pay per use. And unless you're running a content farm, the costs are minimal. I'm talking cents per conversation, not dollars per month. The catch? No mobile apps, no fancy interfaces, no voice modes. But if your primary writing happens at your computer and you want access to every AI model available, this approach can save you hundreds of dollars annually. You could also use the hybrid approach. Keep one premium subscription for your primary tool with all the features you need, then use API access for experimenting with other models when specific projects require different capabilities. For example, maybe you keep Perplexity as your main writing companion for the features and reliability, but when you need to test how different AI models handle a particular writing challenge, you fire up OpenRouter to compare responses. This gives you the best of both worlds. Polished experience of a premium platform for daily use, plus access to every other model for specialized needs, all for less than what most writers spend on multiple subscriptions. Now, what about free options? Look, I get it. AI subscriptions add up, and not everyone can justify $20, $60 monthly for writing tools when they're just getting started. The reality is that free tiers exist on most platforms, but they're designed to get you hooked, not to be sustainable long-term solutions. ChatGPT's free version gives you access to older models with usage limits. Claude has a free tier that's pretty generous, but will throttle you if you use it seriously. Gemini's free version is decent, but limited. If you're just experimenting or writing occasionally, these free tiers might work. But if you're serious about using AI to improve your writing process, you'll outgrow the limitations quickly. Here's my recommendation for writers on a budget. Start with the free tiers to figure out which AI approach works best for your writing style. Once you know what you need, invest in one premium subscription rather than trying to juggle multiple limited free accounts. And something most writers don't consider is the cost of not using the right tools. If the right AI tool saves you 2 hours per writing session and you value your time at even $25 per hour, that's $50 of value per session. Even at $20 monthly, the tool pays for itself after one use. But beyond time savings, there's the quality factor. If AI helps you write more compelling characters, clearer arguments, or more engaging narratives, what's that worth to your writing career? Now, I want to be honest about something. AI tools won't make you a great writer overnight. They're tools, not magic. They can help you brainstorm, overcome blocks, research efficiently, and refine your ideas. But they can't replace the fundamental skills of storytelling, argument construction, and voice development. Think of AI like a really smart writing partner who's read everything and never gets tired of helping you think through problems. But the creative vision, the unique perspective, the authentic voice, that's all you. The key is finding the AI tool that enhances your natural writing process rather than disrupting it. And based on everything I've tested, everything I've experienced across hundreds of writing projects, that tool is Perplexity. The combination of model variety, unlimited usage, research integration, and genuine understanding of creative work makes it the clear choice for serious writers. But your choice might be different based on your specific needs, budget, and writing style. So here's what I recommend. Don't just take my word for it. Most of these platforms offer free trials or generous free tiers. Spend a week with each one doing actual writing projects, not just playing around with sample prompts. Pay attention to which platform feels most natural for your workflow. Notice which one gives you the best ideas, helps you overcome blocks most effectively, and fits into your creative process without friction. The right AI writing tool should feel like an extension of your creativity, not a separate system you have to learn to operate. Comment below and let me know which AI tool you're planning to try first, or if you're already using one, what's been your experience? Because at the end of the day, the best AI writing tool is the one that helps you write more, write better, and actually enjoy the process. Your writing deserves tools that understand the craft, not just content generation.